Hey everybody, thank you for joining me one more time for this little mini series that I'm putting together on rebuilding DLTX carburetors for John Deere Letter Series tractors. In today's video, we are going to go from a dirty carburetor to one that is nice and clean and painted. So it's kind of a fun one. Hope you find some things useful in this. I'll show you a couple of ways that I have used to clean carburetors. If you've got a better way to do it, please comment that down below, because I would love to learn something as well as other people who are watching this and reading the comments. So anyway, without further ado, let's get to work. Okay, now that we have all of the passageways clear, we need to clean the carburetor. These are oftentimes greasy and grimy, as this one is right here. You can go ahead and, the way that I had done it for many years was I just used this horribly dirty bucket of carburetor cleaner, and I would just drop the whole carburetor. This being a cast iron carburetor, you don't have to worry about it. But if you ever have an aluminum carburetor, this isn't the best option. This likes to dissolve aluminum, and I found that out the hard way. But you can go ahead and you can soak the carburetor and the bowl and the components inside of a bucket of chem dip like this, and that works. But we're gonna do something different. Okay, follow me down to this other end of my workbench, and I apologize. I am in the middle of tiling a shower in my basement, which is my least favorite job in the world, and so it is a mess over here in the corner. But right here, this is my ultrasonic cleaner. I've had this a couple of years, and it does a pretty good job for cleaning small little things like carburetors. And so that's what we're going to be using today, and I'll show you the way that I do that. The way that I like to do this, because my ultrasonic cleaner, it's probably about 2.5 gallons right here, this bath of water. And so, I mean, you could fill this whole thing full of solvent, but that's a lot of solvent. And so what I prefer to do is I just take some Ziploc bags like this, and I just take the carburetor pieces. For example, I'll take the body right here and I'll throw it in this 1 gallon Ziploc, like that. And then if you dip it down in here, it kind of helps evacuate some of the air. And then I will just take whatever solvent I'm using. This is just an inexpensive, well, this is actually reused solvent, but it should do the trick. It should be purple power, but it's brown, as you can see, because I've used this once already. Get as much air out of it as we can. And then, that way we're using a lot less solvent or cleaning solution, and it also keeps the ultrasonic cleaner quite a bit cleaner. So I'll do the same thing right here in this. This is a 1 quart Ziploc bag. All of the other components that we took apart, same thing here. Dump it in the bag. We'll use some more of this reused cleaning solution. It's not really a solvent, I don't think. That's there. And lastly, we've got the float bowl. So we put the float bowl in. And we'll pour the rest of this solution into this bag. I'm going to flip this cleaner on. And it's heated, so right now the water temperature is 40 degrees Celsius, but I've got it set to 50 degrees Celsius. So that's pretty warm water. I mean, I just filled it up with clean water from the sink inside. And this is the timer. It'll clean for 15 minutes, and we'll come out and see how clean the parts are. Sometimes it'll take 2 doses, but usually after 1 dose or 1 iteration, the parts are pretty clean. So let's go ahead and hit start. Okay, this is done. I mean, it does a pretty good job. And it strips it down to the bare paint. And then No complaints there. There's our float. We'll have to make sure that's good. Anyway, so then I'll just go rinse this off and scrub it with a brush real quick, and it's pretty well clean. Let's look at the bigger parts, like the body of the carburetor. And you saw how dirty it was when I put it in. 15 minutes in the ultrasonic cleaner, and now it looks like this. Really pretty good. There's a couple of places like down here that it's still a little bit dirty, but for the most part, it does a good job. There's a lot of sludge down in here still, but maybe it'll clean up okay. Let me spend a couple of minutes looking at this, and then we'll see if we need to put it through another cycle. Well, I had a bit of a surprise. As I was in the process of rebuilding this DLTX 53 carburetor, I had to pull the carburetor off of our John Deere D, which is a DLTX 63, and I rebuilt that one as well too. So from this point out in the video, we kind of have two carburetors, a 53 and a 63. I have footage from both of them, so don't get too caught up on the fact that one of them is a 63, one is a 53. Really, they look exactly the same, but there's just a few minor differences, so the keen viewer will notice that. But anyway, just want to let you know. So this is what we're going for. This is what we want to accomplish with these two kind of dismantled carburetors. We want to get a good quality paint job on them that looks aesthetically pleasing, but also provides protection to the metal so it's not going to rust, and that the carburetor will be functionally sound for for years to come. But before we can start painting, we do have to take these two carburetors that we've just spent some time cleaning, and we need to get them reassembled to the point where we can spray them, put primer on them without getting overspray down inside of all of the internals and things like that. So we're just going to dry fit everything together. I can just go ahead and heat the outside of this. So we've warmed the carburetor now. It's just warm to the touch. It's not hot by any means. But now with this cleaned and assembled to this point, we can go ahead and we can put a light coating of primer on it. This is the primer that I like to use. It's just a, relatively inexpensive, rattle can primer, but it seems to do just fine. You can use really whatever you want. This is what I'm choosing to use. So. Okay, this is the DLTX 53. Okay, here we are. It's the next day. We're now ready to paint. The paint that I use, and I've had really good luck with, is very inexpensive, and I'm sure that there are better paints out there, but this is what I use. It's an alkali-based oil enamel that has good corrosion resistance. It does not have very good UV resistance, so if you're going to be painting something and letting it sit outside, this is not the best paint. But if you're going to be keeping it in a shed, this should last you a good long time. This is what I painted my tractor with, and that's been 12 years ago, and it still shines up really nice. So, I just get it from my local farm and ranch store. They've actually discontinued it in Utah, so now I got to get it in Idaho. The reason they've discontinued it, I think, is for some environmental reasons. But you can see everything is separated, so let me get this stirred up. Now, I have measured out a line on this at half a cup. That's what I'm going to use. That's probably a little bit much for painting these two carburetors, but I have a few other parts that I could paint green with my excess. So I try not to waste anything, but let's pour this paint in here. Now next, what I'm going to be mixing in is a little bit of hardener. Now, you wouldn't need to mix in hardener. I mean, this is an optional step. The reason I do this is two reasons. First, the hardener helps the paint dry, and so then you don't have just sticky paint. The real reason why I use it is because it lends some chemical resistance. So if you're going to be around gasolines or other thing like that, that can kind of break down this this oil-based paint if you just use this on its own, or even just the spray paint if you use the spray paint on your own. The hardener helps it have that chemical resistance so that it can stand up against gasolines and things like that. That's good right there. So I'm going to dump this in. Then we'll mix it up, and then we need to let this sweat for about 15 or 20 minutes. Okay, it's been 15 minutes, so I'm just going to give it a splash of reducer. That might be too much. Maybe not. If it is, we'll still roll with it. But you do want this to be pretty liquidy.
And quick disclaimer, I'm not qualified to tell anybody how to paint.
Well, there they are. I put 2 coats on there, and yeah, I think they got pretty good coverage. I do have a little bit of a run right there, but that'll be okay. We just got everything scattered out here, up here, everything hanging all over the place. Well, that's going to do it for this week's video. Hopefully you found a few things useful in it. One thing that I didn't get to show you, because the carburetors we were painting didn't have these, but this is the DLTX 67 carburetor. And if you look, we have some brass plugs here and down here also by the throttle. If you want to keep those looking brass, a really quick and easy way to do that when you paint it, to mask it off, is I just use Play-Doh, and I just wedge a little bit of Play-Doh inside of there, and then I just paint over it. After the paint dries, I just pull the Play-Doh out, and it's really quick and easy. But kind of wanted to tell you that, but I didn't get to show you that, unfortunately. Anyway, thanks so much, and next week we are probably going to be putting in new bushings, throttle bushings right here in the throttle position right there. So that should be kind of useful. It'll be quick and easy, but we're getting here. We're getting close to the end. So thanks so much, you guys, for watching, and I'll see you next week with another video.